Welcome back. Before the break, just a moment ago, we introduced you to Richard Martin. He's a personal support worker for Bill Chartrand Jr., and Bill happens to suffer from Tourette's syndrome. Now, his mother, MaryJo, joins me in studio. You're going to tell me more about Bill, and we have a few things to talk about here. So first of all, MaryJo, thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I want you to say, I know how proud you are of Bill. Tell me more about him.
How much time you got? Bill is a very unique person. He's amazing. He has a terrific sense of humor, very witty. He's a survivor. He's been through terrible, terrible things, being able to enable him to be able to live in the community. And that's why his workers are so important. What else would you like to know about Bill?
And I know as a proud mom, and of course we all got to meet Bill a moment ago in Donald's report, and he seems like a very charming man, but we know that he has had challenges with Tourette's syndrome. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about that?
Okay, he has a developmental challenge as well, but most of his problems are because of Tourette's syndrome. Now, Tourette's syndrome is one of many tic disorders. There's a whole spectrum of them. And then Tourette's syndrome has its own spectrum of symptoms. So you think right away with Tourette's syndrome, it's just the verbal and the tics. And
well, because there are a lot of people who have preconceived ideas about what Tourette's syndrome is. Yeah. And I mean, most of those ideas and notions come from a Hollywood script, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Have you found that difficult to deal with? And has Bill likewise found it difficult to meet with those stereotypical labels?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And labeling is so horrible for people with a disability because it lumps everybody into one label, whereas everyone is so unique. They're people with disabilities is what they are, not the disabled.
So tell me how the advantages have been since Richard has come into Bill's life, because I know they have a terrific relationship now.
They do. Well, Richard is part of our family. Bill calls him his buddy R. And Richard was a worker with him before he became his roommate. And it was a little dicey about whether or not that would work with a worker also being a roommate, because he has other workers. There are shifts. Okay. And he has 4 or 5 different workers. So it was a little tricky, but it worked out. It worked out beautifully. He's so happy. He has such a good life.
So this is certainly a situation or program that you would recommend to others if they find themselves in need of personal support workers?
Oh, definitely something to look into. Yeah.
And if you had to identify some of Bill's best qualities, what would they be?
His sense of humor, his wittiness, and his charming. He does some volunteering with people in nursing homes, makes everybody happy. He loves people from babies right on to senior citizens, and animals. He loves animals, so he can relate to everybody.
Well, he sounds like an
everybody loves him.
Gem. He really does.
He's a gem.
I know that you sparkle when you talk about him, and I also happen to know that he has such a quick wit about him. Makes everybody is entertained by his wit, and he's clever. It's clever wit that he has, which is, I wish more people had clever wit for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we also heard that Bill said that he was involved in a hiring practice when it came to Richard. How involved are you, MaryJo, in a situation like that?
Totally involved. But Bill has the final say. His dad and I are always involved in the interview process. But it's always up to Bill, and he has to be able to relate to the person, or maybe the person relate to him. I'm not sure which, but
it sounds like it's a perfect working relationship between Richard, Bill, and the family, and that's what it is, a family unit.
It's amazing.
MaryJo, thank you so much for telling us all about Bill Jr. We certainly appreciate it, and of course it was nice to meet Richard as well. Well, we'll have more of today's Londoner right after the break. Stay with us.